Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to another edition of Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Friday, the 22nd day of February in the year of our Lord 2019. Now, when it comes to the facts that the liberal left and the socialist left use, the lies of them can be found laying all over the place. On Thursday's broadcast of MSNBC's All In, 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders stated that if he becomes president, we must, quote, move rapidly, unquote, in addressing issues, especially if, quote, the disaster of Trump ends up lasting 4 years. First off, it's going to last at least 4 years and quite possibly 8. So Sanders is shiatsu out of luck. Hello, Claudia. Good to see you there. And Cindy, good to see you there. Sanders said that if he is elected, there is going to be a sense of urgency. We are not going to do things the same old way. We have a major crisis in this country, and especially after 4 years of the disaster of what will be the disaster of Trump. If he lasts 4 years, we're going to have to move rapidly in addressing issue after issue after issue. And now, the long-awaited time to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. First off, we have to look at this so-called disaster. Does he mean unemployment, the lowest in history for many people, including blacks, as a disaster? Is he on heroin? Secondly, does he mean the GDP being higher than it ever was during the Obama years, back when we were told that 1% GDP and 8% unemployment was the new normal? You mean that disaster, huh, Bernie? Third, you mean the fact that there are more people working now than not working? You mean that disaster, Bernie? Here's the problem with these socialists and the liberals. They want everything their way. They want everything free. The trouble is, nothing is ever free. Since more and more people are working and less are now on unemployment now, that means that their control over the people is slipping. I guess to a liberal socialist, that would mean a problem, right? The big problem for Bernie Sanders of this world is this. The people like the idea that more of their money is in their pockets and not the government's. People like the idea that more of their lives is out from under the government's thumb. Bernie, that makes people happy. It doesn't make them mad. And you are the one that is mad here. Leave well enough alone. Bide your time. Sooner or later, the American people will get dumb again and vote your party back into office. Until then, just go along for the ride. You might make some money so that you will have more when the next Democrat disaster happens to this country and the people start losing their money to the government again. Because mark my words here, folks, we ever vote the Democrats today back into office, and we will get the worst that America can get. Sadly, the time will come when Americans will forget the disaster of Obama, and then Bernie or one of them will get elected. On a post in Planet US was one that tells why the Democrats want Trump gone so badly that they will do anything to do it. But it tells very well why we voted for him. And it was titled, How I Feel About Trump. Hello, Foster Rodriguez. Glad to see you here. You've been on vacation for 2 weeks. You come home and your basement is infested with raccoons. Hundreds of rabid, messy, mean raccoons have overtaken your basement. You want them gone immediately. You call the city and 4 different exterminators, but nobody can handle the job. There's one guy, and he guarantees to get rid of them, so you hire him. You don't care if the guy smells. You don't care if the guy swears. You don't care if he's an alcoholic. You don't care how many times he's been married. You don't care if he has plumber's crack. You simply want those raccoons gone. You want your problem fixed. He's the guy. He's the best. Here's why we want Trump. Yes, he's a bit of a jerk. Yes, he's an egomaniac, but we don't care. The country is a mess because politicians suck. The Republicans and the Democrats can be two-faced and gutless, and illegals are everywhere. We want all that fixed. We don't care that Trump is crude. We don't care that he insults people. We don't care that he has changed positions. We don't care that he's been married 3 times. We don't care that he fights with Megyn Kelly and Rosie O'Donnell. We don't care that he doesn't know the name of some Muslim terrorist. This country became weak and bankrupt. Our enemies are making fun of us, and we are invaded by illegals, and we are becoming a nation of victims. Every Tom, Ricardo, and Hasid is a special group with special rights to point where we don't even recognize this country that we were born and raised in. And we just want it fixed. And Trump is the only guy who seems to understand what the people want. Hello, Becky. We're sick of politicians, sick of the Democrat Party, sick of the Republican Party, sick of illegals. We just want this thing fixed. Trump may not be a saint, but we don't care. We didn't vote for a pope. We didn't vote for a man who doesn't have We voted for a man who doesn't have lobbyist money holding him back, a man who doesn't have political correctness restraining him. We all know that he has been very successful. He's a good negotiator. He has built a lot of things, and he is also not a politician, not a cowardly politician. And he says he'll fix it. We just want those raccoons gone. We don't, he says he'll fix it, and we believe him because he is too much of an egotist to be proven wrong or looked at and called a liar. We also don't care if the guy has bad hair. We just want those damn raccoons gone, out of our house, now. Thousands of people who haven't voted in 25 years seem to be getting involved. And more people, the more and more people that get this message, the more there will be that will understand why Trump was elected. The raccoons have got to go. Now do you understand? Now do you understand why in Washington, D.C., Trump is alone against the rabid mob of raccoons? And no matter what goes on, he keeps on proving that he's right and they are wrong, and everybody else is totally wrong in Washington. Hear this, Bernie Sanders? Thank you, Claudia, Fausta, Becky, for being here. And we are here to push the facts that the liberal lying lamestream media leaves out. Facts that change the story from what is right to what the left wants, which is never right anymore. Truth, justice, and the American way are the continuing casualties in everything that the left stands for, and the American people need to learn that. God bless America, God bless our troops, and as always, we will not be ruled. Have a safe and blessed weekend.